Conversations with Nicole. Let's talk about it. Tell me all about it. I'm here. I want to know what's on your mind. Ooh, the world needs to hear from you, and I'm so glad to have a conversation to reach the nation. And it's all about you. We'll help each other to discover innovative ways to positively change the world. Let's talk about, let's talk about, yeah. Let's talk about conversations with Nicole.
Greetings, greetings. Happy Monday. Welcome to Conversations with Nicole. I am Nicole Everett, your host, and today is what I call Mindset Monday, which is an opportunity for you, me, and my guests to chat about something interesting and exciting. And today we're talking about how to maintain the flame. My very special guest is Dr. Nicole Bradford. So yes, you all have double Nicole tonight, but we are going to have a great time. So I invite you to tag a friend, like and share, and let folks know they need to be on here. I'm going to introduce my guests in just a moment, but before I bring her on, I want to hear from you. Where are you tuning in from? We are live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on LinkedIn. So if you will, put your city and state in the comments so we can give you a shout out. This is an interactive live, and your comments, your questions are very much so welcome. So we want to engage with you. This is a safe space for us to communicate with one another. So I see my mom is here. Thank you for being here, Mom, down in Miami. I appreciate you. Happy Monday. All right, we got Stephanie Clark here in Tally, Florida. Thank you for tuning in, Miss Stephanie. Appreciate you. And I'm sure, again, there'll be others that are joining us. But again, like and share and let folks know we're here. And we want to engage with you all tonight. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and share some of Dr. B's bio. So born with a passion for stoking the flame of purpose in everyone she meets, Dr. B believes the burn we have to be more is not one we should ignore. Author, entrepreneur, speaker, and founder of Maintain the Flame, Dr. Nicole Bradford is the matriarch of a personal development hub, empowering growth and expansion in both youth and adults. Her latest book, which has been released, Your Soul is Not for Sale, is a self-empowerment hand guide leading readers on a journey deeper into their unique truth. As a first-generation college graduate and the first Black woman to hold the title of Miss Austin USA in the 90s, Dr. B doesn't believe we should live out the limiting scripts handed to us by others. She's an advocate for carving out a journey that is aligned with our innate passions. Her philosophy is built on allowing what we love to lead the way. An educator powerhouse with over 25 years under her belt, she's transformed the lives of countless children, enhanced graduation rates, and is broadening her horizons by engaging people on a journey of self-discovery that breaks barriers, amplifies potential, and shatters restrictions. Y'all help me welcome Dr. Nicole Bradford. Yay.
Hello. I'm so excited to be here. And that song, I love it. Let's talk about it.
Yes.
You need to get that on the airways. I love that.
Yeah, I told the creators of this song, I need one more verse and I'd have a hit record. I'm convinced of it. But thank you so much.
Yes.
Well, welcome. I'm so glad you're here, y'all. So Dr. B reached out to me on Instagram. I'm telling you, we talk about social media not being so great, but this is one of the great benefits of social media. So I'm so glad she did, and I'm so glad to have her, and I can't wait to have this conversation.
Well, I'm so glad that you gave me the opportunity. I see that you're doing so many great things in the community, and I just wanted to connect and be a part of it. So hats off to you, and thank you for the opportunity.
My pleasure. Well, tell the people and me, Who is Dr. B? Not what you do, because I already talked about that, but who are you in your own words?
Well, I am an individual that's always had the passion to connect with others and inspire others. I'm the youngest of six kids, born and raised in Austin, Texas. Grew up in very humble beginnings, but I come from a family full of love. Unfortunately, being raised in my home, it was a dysfunctional environment. I did have to witness domestic violence in my home. And so I had to go out and understand the importance of knowing who I am. It was very difficult to see the two people that you love the most not getting along. And so,
Mhm.
being raised in that environment, I had to learn to be able to seek out mental health support, get counseling, so that I know that I am not my environment and I have the opportunity to design the life that I desire. So,
Yeah.
transitioning from my home environment, then, we go into college. I was able to attend and graduate from Grambling State University
Okay.
and Texas Southern University. So, I enjoyed my experience there. And I came up with the company Maintain the Flame, because when we're young we have this passion and excitement and energy, but then when we grow older we tend to conform to the expectations of the world. And we go from being a young adult to the college life, then maybe we may go into being married with the in-laws and their expectations, and then transitioning into the workplace. And I just wanted to connect with others and help them to reignite their passion for life and design the life that they desire.
I love that. And thank you for sharing about who you are and some of your journey. That's just so important and so unique. And that helps us to get to know you a little bit better. So again, I'm glad you're here and I can't wait to have this conversation. But before we jump in, there are a few more folks that have joined us. So I want to definitely acknowledge them. Miss Jeanette, who is down in South Florida. Happy Monday. Thank you for being here. Miss Lisa, who is here in Tallahassee, thank you for joining us. And Miss Kesey, who is also here in Tallahassee, she said hello. And I do too, my jam. She's talking about the theme song. So thank
That's
you,
right.
Kesey. Yes, yes, yes. So maintain the flame. I do want to dive in, but let's talk a little bit about your new book, if you don't mind.
I would love to. Yes. Just happen to have a copy here.
Yes.
This is the book, My Soul is Not for Sale. It's
Mhm.
available on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and all the outlets. And My Soul is Not for Sale. I've actually had that title inside of me for many years, and I
Mm,
never understood why. I always thought about writing. I started with a journal, and I always thought about writing a book, but I was like, this title, I don't understand why it just continues to stay with me. Well,
yeah.
as I shared with you in my journey, I've always been different. I've been the underdog, and so that's my passion, to help individuals like that. And
Mm,
My Soul is Not for Sale comes it was birthed out of my experiences in life. And I
mm,
know that some people believe that, there are some things you shouldn't share, you could keep it private, but I believe God allows you to go through things so that you can help someone else. And
amen.
so My Soul is Not for Sale talks about the workplace and the
Mm,
struggles we have in the workplace. We talk about the struggles in relationships, as well as in our society in general. And so there are a couple of chapters in there that kind of reignite our fire for life and our desires. I will talk about, we have one that we talk about biases in the building. And
mm,
some people think that, you know what? I don't bring my biases to work. That's not true. I'm good. When I get to work, I'm just neutral and I work with everyone. And that's not always the case,
yeah,
because you can't go home and then on the weekend you listen to your music, you are engaged in your beliefs, and then you think you leave those beliefs at the door. But that's not the case. And
right.
unfortunately, those beliefs come with you into the workplace, and it has an influence on the promotions that are given, the way that you interact with people, your opinions of others. And
Mm,
so it can sometimes hinder your workplace environment. So every single chapter has a group of takeaways that you can apply to your life. And
okay.
so that's one chapter. And then we have another great chapter where we talk about the flush method. So when you think of the flush method, what do you think of?
Hmm. Flushing the things that are not good, maybe waste or,
Yes, yes. Well, it's a little different.
cleansing, a cleansing of sorts, maybe.
Yes, some type of cleansing. Well, as I mentioned, I'm the youngest of six, and
Mhm.
my sister right before me, Felicia, whenever I had problems or situations, she would always say, Nicole, I want you to go and I want you to get a piece of toilet paper. Now, you don't necessarily have to do that part, but
Okay.
she wanted me to write down all the things that challenged me, all the things that was frustrating me that I was going through.
Mhm.
And most importantly, she said, I want you to review it, reflect on it, and I want you to be accountable for your role in the situation. And
Hmm.
then once you review it and reflect on it, I want you to ball it up and I want you to release it. And the flush method is facing life's uncomfortable situation so you can heal. And if we're not willing to do that, we're not going to be able to move forward. And that can be applied in our workplace with some of the challenges that we experience, in our relationships that may not work out well, or relationships that may not benefit us or be toxic to us. Own up to those responsibilities and then moving forward to just our society. And I think when we utilize the flush method and we look at the biases in the building, then it helps us to remove the lies, the labels, and the limitations that's been placed on us so that we can live an authentic life.
Wow, that was powerful. I hope y'all got all of that. Facing life's uncomfortable situations so you can heal.
Yes,
Love it. Love it. Love it. Yes, we all need the flush method for
that's
sure.
right. Yes.
Absolutely. All right, we got a couple more folks that have joined us. Angela Lee, who's here in Tallahassee. Thank you for being here. And Miss Keisha, greetings, God's people. Thank you for being here as well. So let's dive into maintain the flame. Maintain the flame. So maintain is an acronym, and each letter stands for something, just like Flush just did.
Yeah. Yes.
So walk us through, how we can maintain the flame.
Well, I came up with the acronym MAINTAIN, and it's just 8 strategies. Now, you don't have to utilize the strategies in any particular order, but
Okay.
it's just giving you an idea to kind of jumpstart your passion and your life. Because, right now, especially with everything we have going on in the world, we tend to get distracted. We have gas prices that are high, groceries that are high, and then life in general, it seems to be at times very overwhelming. And
Mm,
so we don't want you to get discouraged, but we want you to continue to push forward and reignite that dream and that desire that you and that passion you have inside so you can live a fulfilled life. So we'll start with the first letter. The
okay.
first letter is M.
Mhm.
And M stands for your mindset. Now,
Yes.
we all know how important our mindset is
Mhm.
because there is power in our thoughts. Our thoughts can control us. It can either make us think positive things, and it can either control us and make us think negative things. And so, with mindset, it's very important. I know we all have heard, let's do our positive affirmations. That's
Mhm.
great. But I can sit here all day and talk about positive affirmations, but until I start to believe that,
Yeah,
nothing will happen. So
sure.
not only will you have your positive affirmations, but you must believe what you're speaking. And
Yes.
in addition to that, you must have a growth mindset. So
Mhm.
many times we get kind of stuck in our ways and we're like, you know what? I've been this way for 50 years. I'm not going to change that. Or, I've already tried to talk to them and they're never going to change. Well, if you
Right.
believe that, that's what you're going to get. So whatever you put your energy and your efforts into, that's what's going to be major in your life. So if we
Mm.
focus on the positive things and have a positive mindset, our lives can go in a positive direction. So
Yeah,
mindset is very important.
it is very important. All right. Keisha said, oh my, Keisha is our comedian. Okay. Just want you to know. She said, can I get some, some wood to put in the fire
Yes, ma'am.
to maintain the flame, right?
That's right. I love it. Yes.
All right. And Tiffany has joined us. Thank you for being here, Tiffany. So listen, everything starts with mindset. This is Mindset Monday as well, right? So, we can't speak enough about how important that is. So I'm glad that you start there because that is very foundational. And, recognizing that our mindset is the foundation and the driving force, right, behind the things that we do, what we say, that sort of thing. So having that positive mindset, having that growth mindset is going to be critical for us to maintain the flame.
That's right. Then the
Mhm.
next letter is A. We must take action. Now, we
Mm.
can sit here all day, every day, and say, you know what? One day I'm going to have a podcast, but I'm
Mm.
not putting any action towards it. And so it's not that the podcast gods are going to come down and say, hey, Nicole, here's your new podcast. You are going to have to put in the work. So
Yeah.
make sure that whatever goal or dream that you have set for yourself, that you're willing to put in the work and you're willing to be accountable. So you
Mm.
must take action. And like for me, this year I turned 50. So I talked to you a little bit about that earlier. I'm
Yes.
doing my 30-day countdown to 50, and I want to get back to that beach body so I can put on a bikini. And
Love
so I got to take action. I've got to get up every day. And even if it's just one or two things that I'm doing to get me closer to my goal, I
it. Mhm.
must take action. So action is essential to making you to create the life that you want and for you to maintain that flame.
Yes. Good word. Good word. Keisha's being our scribe tonight. So we got
Okay.
M is mindset and A is action. Thank you, Miss Washington. We appreciate
Thank you, Miss Keisha.
you.
And
Mhm.
the next one is going to be intentional. Now,
Okay.
we know how important it is to be intentional, and that's in every area of our lives. We must put in that effort. We must set up the goals that we have, and we must build those relationships. So, if it's you that you want to start a major business or you want to open a franchise, you need to connect with individuals that's currently doing what you're interested in doing.
Mm.
Build those relationships, spend time with them, and make sure that you're volunteering so that you can be intentional, come up with a plan, because we all know if you don't write the plan, it's not going to help create itself.
Mhm.
Write the vision and make it plain. So be
Right.
very, very intentional with the steps towards your goals and your dreams.
Now, what would you say if, in terms of intentionality, because sometimes maybe we think we're being intentional, but we actually are not. Uh,
Mhm.
what recommendations would you have to assist with that intentionality? Would it be maybe like you said with the action piece, maybe
Mhm.
it's just small steps,
Yeah.
right? Because
I,
maybe yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I believe what you're saying. It's definitely small steps, but when you're being intentional, it's important also to have an accountability partner. And
Ah,
so it could be a family member, it can be a friend, because they're going to hold you accountable. And
mm,
so you can say, I'm being intentional. I want to start this program or I want to start this business, but you're not taking steps and you don't have a plan to work because you have to be able to work that plan. Well, if
mm,
you have that accountability partner, they'll say, hey, wait a minute, Nicole. Now, I haven't seen you making any steps lately. Now, you
yes,
told me by the end of this week you were going to do X, Y, and Z. I have
yes.
to hold you accountable and I have to make sure that you're intentional when you're making plans towards your dreams. So, an accountability partner is essential when you're being intentional with your goals and your aspirations.
No, that's good. That's real good. All right. So Iris has joined us. Thank you for being here. She's here in Tallahassee. So we're talking maintain part of maintaining the flame. So M mindset, A action, and Miss Keisha, who is our scribe, I intentional. All
Yes,
right. You're welcome.
yes.
Yes. All right. So accountability partner, I think that's great. I'm glad we flushed that out a little more because sometimes we again may think we are being intentional, but we are. So somebody that's gonna give you the real, not beat you up, but just you said this is what you wanted to do. So I want to help you make sure you reach that goal.
Yes, yes. And
Okay.
then the next letter is N for nurture.
Okay.
Now, we all know how important it is to nurture ourselves. We're good at helping everyone. Anybody call, hey, Nicole, I need you. You're going to jump up and you're going to be there. You'll make sure you're making it happen with all the programs that you're having. You're making sure you're taking care of the community. But when
Mhm.
you're spending all that energy taking care of everyone else, you must take time to take care of yourself. You can't
Hello.
burn the candle at both ends. So
Mhm.
you just got to figure out what it is that makes you happy. So
Yeah.
maybe it's on my drive home, I'm going to put on my favorite podcast. Or maybe if it's just at the end of my day, I'm going to set aside 30 minutes for myself. I'm going
Mhm.
to make sure if I'm just spending quiet time, I'm reading a book, or maybe I'm sitting down with a cup of coffee. But
Mhm.
make sure that you're nurturing yourself. And I know for myself, I had my loving parents the last 3 years of their lives. I took care of them. And that can be very challenging for people that are caregivers because
Yeah.
you're always making sure you're getting them to the doctors, you're
Mhm.
taking care of them. But then at the end of the day, you don't have time for yourself. And so if you're not healthy and you're not nurturing and loving on yourself, then you're not going to be any good for anyone else.
Very true. So I want to pause here and see if we could get our viewers involved in terms of how are you all nurturing yourself? If you don't mind, in the comments, let us know. How are you nurturing yourself? What do you do to nurture yourself? Just give us one thing that you do to nurture yourself. I will tell you, for me, it is a monthly body massage.
Mhm.
That is one of the ways that I nurture myself.
That's very nice. I love going for a walk.
Mm,
Especially on a beautiful, cool day. You know, I'm here in Texas, so we don't get a lot of those. But when it's so nice outside and it's breezy, I just love to take a nice stroll.
nice, nice, nice. I love to do that too. All right. Stephanie said reduce obligations. That is a great way to nurture yourself. Yes. Love it. I'm working on that one, Stephanie. I'm working on it. All right. Well, hopefully others of you will chime in. So we're talking in, which is nurture. How do you nurture yourself? Okay. Angela said, I've learned to protect my peace and listen when my body speaks. Yes. Love that. Hmm. Because our body is speaking to us, telling us maybe that we need rest or we need, whatever the case may be. But yes, we got to do that. We got to do that. All right. Stephanie said me too. So she likes to walk as well. Okay, good, 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 good. All right. So nurture yourself. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right. So again, maybe some other folks will chime in. All right, wait. Iris, she said journaling,
Mhm.
writing, walking in nature, sitting on the beach. Oh, yes. Love that one. Sitting on the
Y'all
beach.
are very lucky in Florida. I wish we had a nice beach to go sit in front of. Very
It
soothing.
absolutely, absolutely. All right, Eric is on with us. Hey, Eric. He said invoking the power of no,
That's right.
not overextending myself. All right. Yes, that's a good one. So looks like we are a few of us are looking at reducing our obligations, not overextending ourselves. So yes, that is nurturing yourself for sure. Again, Eric, I too am working on that as well. Thank you for sharing. All right. So what's next?
We have T for being tenacious. You
Tenacious.
have to be bold and you have to hold on to that dream with your everything. So when we're maintaining that flame, just think back to when you were younger. You may have said, hey, I've always wanted to play the drums, or I always wanted a big company, or I wanted to drive a racing car. But
Mm,
then as we go through life, a lot of our dreams and our aspirations get put back on the back burner. Or
mm,
some of our parents, we may say, I don't have a dime left. I put all my kids through college. So I
mm.
don't have time to do anything for myself, but you deserve it. So make sure that you fight for that dream. Make sure you protect your flame with everything that you have and be tenacious and hold on to that dream or that aspiration until you bring it to life. And it's going to have some good times and some difficult times, but you have it within you to move forward and make that dream a reality.
Indeed, you do. So Whew, I know sometimes we can talk ourselves out of it,
Yeah.
right? Because of fear, because of doubt, because of unbelief, because of naysayers, right?
Hmm.
And so, what would you recommend to someone that is combating any of those things that I just mentioned?
Well, I always ask the question of, is there anyone in your life that you advocate for? And
Mhm,
so when I ask that question of people, because you may get discouraged and you may get down, but if that was your young daughter or your son or your cousin or your best friend that
mhm,
comes to you and say, you know what, I tried, but it just didn't work out. Are
mm,
you going to allow them to tap out? Or are you
mm.
going to advocate for them? And are you going to challenge them and encourage them to keep going? And so that same energy that you have when you're advocating for everyone else, you have to fight for yourself just as much as you fight for everyone else. And as a former educator myself, educators, we love hard and we pour into everyone else. And we
Mm,
know how to stand up for our students, and we're not going to tolerate that and make sure we're giving them the very best. But then when it comes to our dreams and things that we want, we're quick to say, you know what, it's not worth all that. That's all right. I tried, or
mm,
I've already invested $2,000. I'm not going to go back and try that again. But
mm.
that's not the advice that you would give someone else. So the same love and confidence that you have in everyone else, you need to make sure that you have that for yourself.
Yes, that's really, really good. So I, I call it, being your own best friend.
That's
Um,
right. Yes.
you talked about advocating for yourself. So, ooh, yes, we got to be tenacious. Got
Yes.
to, got to, got to. A few more folks have chimed in. My blood sister, Shayla, who is down in Miami, who is an educator as
All
well.
right.
Yes, thank you for being here, Shay. We got Brother Malcolm who just joined us, who's here in Tally. Thank you for joining us. And Angela said, givers must create and maintain boundaries because takers don't have any. As
That's
long as you're giving, they're taking, regardless of how it affects you.
Miss Angela's on fire tonight. I love it. Yes.
Yes, no, that's a very good point. So, yes, you do have to create those boundaries
That's right.
because you don't want to give yourself away.
Mhm.
But you want to nurture yourself as we have talked about, as well as that whole tenacity piece. I again can't speak enough on that because again, I think that as you said, we have to be our own best friend and advocate for ourselves. That's very, very important.
Mhm. I love it.
Mhm. Yes. All right. And Tracy Ann just joined us. Thank you for being here. All right. So tenacious. All right. So what's our next letter?
Our next letter is A, being
A.
authentic.
Uh,
Why do you think we need to be authentic? Why do you think that's so important nowadays?
oh, there's so many people. I feel like it's so many people who don't really truly know who they are. And so, they're imitating what they see on social media. There's a lot of comparison that's going on. And so I think there needs to be some self-discovery. Like I feel like we do know who we are, but we just have not kind of tapped into it. And so that little girl, that little boy inside of us that dreamt big about, what they wanted to be, what they wanted to do when they became a grown up or an adult, that as you talked about the flame, it gets quenched, right?
Yes. Hmm.
And
Yes.
so how do we maintain that flame? Which is, oh, I had a full circle moment there just
But
in being our authentic selves, right?
yes, yes, and you hit the nail on the head. And that's a more of what's talked about in the book, My Soul is Not for Sale, because
Mm,
you have to be willing to be authentic and be who you are. And it doesn't matter because when we were younger, you'd go in the schools and we go to the high schools or whatever and middle school and we were loving life and we were loving ourselves, but then we get to be adults and we're looking around and wait a minute, but if I
mhm,
say that, they may think, and if
right.
I wear that, they may think, but
Mhm,
and I know you say we know who we are, but are we okay showing up being who we truly are? Are we
Mhm.
so worried about everyone else's opinion around us? And in the book, My Soul is Not for Sale, we talk about code switching.
Mm.
So many of us know the act of code switching, and unfortunately there are other individuals that get to show up to work and be their genuine self. So
Come on,
why do we have to code switch when we go into the workplace? And
mhm.
being able to stand in our truth. So
Yeah.
when you're going into these buildings, you need to understand that don't allow others to chip away at you, and don't sell out. In the book, we talk about hush money. And
Mm.
hush money doesn't just apply on in politics, because some of us will say, hey, wait a minute now. I believe in what you're saying. We're at the water cooler. We're in the break room. Now you show right and you standing up, and I like that. But don't
Mm.
tell them I said that. Now,
Mhm.
you know how many times we heard that on Living Color? Yeah, I know that happened, but don't tell them I said anything about
Right,
it.
right, right, right.
Here's
You
my
didn't hear
paycheck.
from me.
That's right. But if the more of us would stand up, the more of us coming together and believing in a cause and standing strong, the stronger we will be as a community. But
Mm.
we have got to learn it is okay to be authentic, and it is okay to support your fellow coworkers so that you can bring about positive change.
Absolutely. Well, that one got a lot of comments. All
Uh-oh,
right.
uh-oh.
Said authentic, so y'all wasn't gonna help me spell no, Keisha. You
Okay.
got it. All right, Stephanie, she said, for me, takes too much energy to
There you go.
not be myself.
I love it, Stephanie.
Absolutely, absolutely. Keisha, social groups and society shuts down our true selves to be accepted in the cliques. Yes.
Mm,
Yes, yes,
mm.
yes, yes. And Malcolm said, some of us forget who we are and try to change ourselves to please others.
That's
So,
key.
yes.
You're right. You're right. And we're losing parts of ourselves
Mm.
because we want so bad to be accepted. But when you're trying so hard to be accepted, you're actually the one that's losing, because
Yes.
you're not able to be who you are. There you go, Malcolm. You're reading my mind.
Yes. Yes. He says, oh, but this is Marcus. He said, I'm extremely authentic. Thank you, Marcus. All right. Eric said, because if you are inauthentic, people will end up supporting the lie you are telling yourself and them. Mm.
That's right.
Yeah, and you don't want that.
Not at all.
Angela said, the greatest freedom I found was in the mirror. Beautiful. Very well said. Thank you. Thank you so much for the comments. So we are a little more than halfway through our conversation. The time is flying right on by. So for those of you who may be just tuning in, I'm on with Dr. Nicole Bradford. We're talking about how to maintain the flame, and thus far, we are down to the second A. So M is mindset, A is action, I is intentional, N is nurture, T is tenacious, and A is authentic. And we were just talking about why you want to be authentic, right? And folks have said all sorts of things from, they can't be anybody else. There's freedom in being what you find in the mirror. Takes too much energy to be somebody else, trying to fit in with cliques and, societal groups. And so that brings me to thinking about group think, right? And how sometimes we can, because we don't maybe want to um, be ostracized or fall out of fellowship with our tribe, or that sort of thing. We kind of go along to get along, right?
Yes, yes. And
Mhm.
that brings us to the I, integrity. And
Oh.
in the book of My Soul is Not for Sale, talks about your integrity sometimes can make you invisible.
Mm.
Integrity can make you invisible. You have those co-workers that had your back when you were going along and supporting and having those side conversations. But when you have the ability to stand up for what's right, then I don't want nothing to do with Nicole. Oh,
Mm.
she can go over there by herself. Don't bring that over here. Don't be rocking no boats. And so integrity, we have to understand what's truly inside of us. And
Mhm.
that sometimes comes at a huge cost. And
Yeah.
making those decisions to stand in your truth, it always has consequences. And we
Mm.
have to be willing to accept those consequences. Sometimes it could be good and sometimes it can be bad. but we have to be able to look at the situation and say, at the end of the day, will I be okay with myself? And
Mm,
so we've had so many individuals in this world that was willing to be whistleblowers, some
mm,
because they had to be okay at the end of the day with the decisions that they have made. But so many of us, we may just go along to get along, and then we're driving home and we like, God, why did I say that?
mm.
Why did I vote on that? I know I don't even like that idea. But we're afraid because if we stand up and we say that's not right, then we have a lot of people coming against us. And as educators, with that integrity, and it comes to these students and teaching them and being able to stand up to parents to let them know there are things that we need your help with, and there's power in parenting, but there
Yeah.
are a lot of parents that don't want to hear the information that you have to say because they think they're defending their children. And
Mm,
so as educators, you have to stand up for what's right, and you have to stand in your truth, knowing at the end of the day you're okay with yourself and you're okay with the decisions that's been made.
mhm. Very good. Keisha Nicole becomes Keisha. No, ma'am. All right, we got Pastor Judy on with us. Real Talk with Judy live radio show. Who is here in Tallahassee? Thank you for joining us. She said, "Been there, done that." Amen. Yes, 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 yes. So, whoo, but that can be tough. That can be tough.
And I get it. And but we got to go back to, there was a time, and then for me, I know we just talked about real talk Judy.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely don't mean to step on any toes or any of that, but you know what, guys, it's tough, and we have to be willing to have those tough conversations.
We do.
But if we're not living what we read and what we supposedly believe, what are
Mm,
we really doing?
right.
We get up every week and we make sure we check the box, and
Yeah.
we sit in and we go where we need to go and to do our daily church service or whatever it is that you believe in. But then we leave that at the door when we go to work,
Come
because I'm just going to go along to get along, and I just need to fit in, and I need this promotion. But that a promotion is taking away who you truly are. So if you can't be authentic in your leadership, who are you going to be able to lead?
on.
Because
Hmm.
you can't even stand up to yourself to do what's right. So just understand, all money is not good money. And sometimes you have to be able to stand in your truth, love yourself enough to know what I deserve will come to me if
Yes.
I'm patient, because my soul is not for sale.
Come on now. Look, I like how you brought that on around to that book. Hold that book up again so the people can see it. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Come on. All right. Dr. Judy said absolutely nothing that matters.
Yes.
Yes. Stephanie said amen.
Yeah.
And Malcolm said we are faking it.
There you go.
Mhm. Yes. Keisha said, wait a minute. Keisha said K Solo is what they call me. Okay, K Solo. All right. Marcus, amen. Malcolm, be a leader, not a follower. Absolutely. 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 I think, though, what happens, especially now, right? And when I say now, I'm
Mhm.
speaking post integration. Our communities may not be as tight knit as they once were. And so the thought or the idea of I'm gonna be without this job if I don't do thus and so. And so, or if I don't go along, get along, and how am I going to take care of myself or my family or, whatever the case may be. But as you have stated very clearly, that integrity is important. And you got to be able to look in the mirror. You got to be able to, stand on what you believe in. And there are consequences to that. But
Yeah.
you know, if you're standing on what you believe is right, and I would even say as a woman of faith, what
Mhm.
God has told you to do, then you're good. You can sleep at night, hopefully,
Mhm.
prayerfully, and
Mhm.
you can, carry on.
And I just would like to say, for us, we look at all different communities that are out there. and that are supportive of one another, that look out for one another. And there were times that we did that as a community, and we need to make sure that we maintain that flame in our communities, because I promise you, if you're experiencing something, there's someone else that's going through the same thing. And if we're willing to come together as a cohesive unit and stand together, there's strength in numbers. We
Yeah.
wouldn't have all these wonderful organizations that were established many, many years ago if they would have just stood and isolated themselves and not being willing to come together. So if we would move back to supporting one another, believing in one another, and standing together, I believe we will see a huge difference.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. So let's stick together, y'all.
Yeah.
Together we achieve more.
Yes. And last letter is N, non-negotiables. Now, I
No.
know we all have our non-negotiables. We've come into our workplace, our relationships in this life without, I mean, just saying these are what my non-negotiables are. This is what I will and will not accept in my life. And I think that helps us. And I know one of the guests said that it helps us to keep our peace. And you
Mm,
must protect your peace at all costs,
yes.
because that stress can lead to health disorders and other problems in your life. So you
Mm,
must take time to come up with your non-negotiables. For teachers, I know it's so important. My daughter is a first grade teacher. She's been a first grade teacher for 4 years. And
nice.
and with teachers, they come home and we're still working. We're
Mm,
still sending emails. We're burning the candle. We're doing everything that we can for those babies. But then
right.
what if you have babies at home? Or what if you have a family at home?
Yeah.
So, and even with any job, we have to learn to set those healthy boundaries so that
Mm,
we can say, you know what, after 6 p.m., I'm not sending another email. I have
mm,
to protect my time with my children and
yeah.
with my family, because we're showing up for everyone else. And then we need to make sure we're giving our home life our love and our attention. So those non-negotiables are very important so that we can design the life that we desire. I was watching a documentary, and the young lady said her dad once gave her advice, and he
Mm-hmm.
said, you need to live full and die empty. So
Mm,
that means you have to live your life to the fullest. And that means you don't leave anything on the table. So you won't have any regrets. So that job you want to go for, pursue that job. That relationship you want, pursue that relationship. Whatever is going to bring you joy, unshakable joy. Not
mm,
that where the external stuff can tear it up for you, but that internal joy that you know I'm going to be okay no matter what. And
yeah.
that's what you need to pursue.
I love that. Live full and die empty.
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes. All right. Keisha said, most chase world of money
Mhm.
and not God, which leads us into worldly things and confusion.
That's
Mm,
right.
absolutely. And Stephanie, she said, yes, showing up for ourselves. Absolutely. Absolutely. So when I hear non-negotiables, I hear boundaries.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. 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 So I'm gonna ask our viewers, have you set some non-negotiables or some boundaries for yourself? If you don't mind sharing one, let us know. What is one of your non-negotiables or boundaries that you have set for yourself to help you to maintain the flame? Let us know. Let us know. Let us know. One of the non-negotiables or boundaries that you have set for yourself. Whew, I'm trying to think about my non-negotiables and boundaries. Um, I think I am getting better at saying no.
Mhm.
Mhm. So I'm getting better at saying no. I know probably most people would probably say, "No, you're not." 'Cause you're still at everything, doing all the things. But I am being more selective about the things that I do participate in. So
And for me, I would say, as I get older, when I was younger, I had very, very low self esteem. I was skinny. I had this big
Mm,
Michael Jackson Jerry curl, and I was dark skinned. And so I just didn't have the best self esteem. And as I get older, especially as I get closer to 50, I'm starting to know the importance of loving on Nicole and loving Nicole,
mm,
because I can advocate and I am passionate about my babies with school
yeah,
and work, but I need to have that same passion for myself and I need to know what I deserve. So learning to put Nicole first and love Nicole. And that was a difficult lesson because
yeah,
you know in life we love others so much and we put all of our stock in them and we build them up to be our idols, and then they let us down, and you have to know that you can stand on your own. So
yeah.
learning to love Nicole, spend time with Nicole, and know that there's some good things about her.
Indeed, there are some very good things about her, and she is worthy. Keisha said, "Amen." Keisha said, "First, I thought this was a conversation about maintaining the flame with a man. It's what I needed."
Oh,
You can do that too. You can you can apply this to that as well, Keisha. So it's okay. All right. Malcolm said, yes. Never let someone tell you who you are when you know who you are. Agreed. Agreed. All right, Stephanie, not retreating in areas where I have knowledge and experience. Oh, that's good. That's real good. Thank you for sharing that. Angela, the season of learning and loving myself for real. Yes. That's a great lesson um, in learning and loving. So, continue in that vein, Angela. Definitely want to encourage you on that. All right. Dr. Judy, she said, my belief in the standards of holiness. I do not compromise on that. I have come to understand better that if someone do not believe as I believe, does not mean they ain't holy. Okay. Good. That's good. Thank you for sharing that. I think that we need to set those boundaries, those standards, and be accountable. You know, Eh, somebody I heard a someone that I admire, Dr. Derek Standard, talk about um, being committed to our commitments. And so are, if we have these non-negotiables, if we have these boundaries, we are the ones that are protecting them, that are guarding them. And so we got to stand true on that.
that's
All
right.
right. Mhm.
Yes, very important. I
Yeah.
love
Yeah. All right, good deal. So we have gone through all of maintain. I'm gonna do a recap in just a moment. Let me see. Keisha said non-negotiable, working for those who don't understand humanity and don't know how to speak and communicate with others. Ooh,
yes.
that's a whole show by itself, child.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people think that they are communicating effectively, but just really are not. So you got to pack your patience with that one, Keisha. That's all I'm gonna say on that. All right. Iris, I have set boundaries concerning how I allow people to treat me. I will walk away from people before I allow them to mistreat me. Yes. I am also careful about what I watch and listen to. Yes. So I have blocked, unfriended, unfollowed people who are negative on social media and create a negative atmosphere. I control my environment. I love that.
Yes.
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 That is really, really good, Iris. Thank you for sharing that. That's yeah. That's so I see strength. Like that's what I hear in that. Like a
Mhm.
lot of strength because again, we have so many things coming at us and while we may not be processing it all while it's happening real time,
Mhm.
it still has an impact on us.
It does.
And so for her to say that she's careful about what she watches, what she hears, and even the people who she surrounds herself or allows herself to be exposed to, That's pretty powerful.
Yeah. And you know, it says what you listen to and what you look at, that's a gateway to your soul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Indeed. All right. So yes, Dr. Judy said a whole show. Yes, ma'am. A whole show. We need to get together and have a show on that, Dr. Judy. All right. Keisha said, I'm gonna say yo mama and walk off the job. Well, see, I can't with you. I cannot. Go to the point. Go to the point, Keisha.
Oh, I love it.
Oh my goodness. All right, so let's do a recap. Maintain. The M is mindset. A is action. I is intentional. N is nurture. T is tenacious. A is authentic. I is integrity. And N is non negotiables. All right. So that's how we maintain the flame. All right. Eric said Keisha's on one tonight. Always. Always. She just, brings the foolishness. Marcus, lying to me is non-negotiable. Is a non-negotiable. Yes. Ish. Ignore Keisha. I can't help it. I can't help it. All right. We having a little fun. It's okay. We maintaining the flame. All right. Yes. Oh, Keisha, look, she already jumping the gun. How can we get the book?
Oh, thank you, Miss Keisha. Well, the book is available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, or you can even go to my website, and my website is www.maintaintheflame, all one word, .net.
All right, so that's it. Now she jumping the gun. We hadn't even got to that part yet, but here you go. just for Miss Keisha. All
Thank you,
right.
Keisha.
Yes. Ishmael, he said in the social media realm, block is your friend, or at least a 30-day snooze. Yes. Definitely have done that. So I agree. Agree. All right, everybody laughing at Keisha. She's our
Yeah.
company tonight. All right. Well, we are, drawing near to the end of our conversation. So we went through maintain. Anything else that you want to share or that we're forgetting that we talked about? I'm still liking the flush idea as well. So I wrote that down because I definitely want to use that later on.
Well, it's just my goal and my dream to connect with others and help to reignite their flame and let them know that you have power and you have potential, and every day that you wake up is your opportunity to get it right and to connect and encourage someone else. So make sure that you're protecting your flame and your excitement for life. We only get to do this once, and connect with the individuals that are around you. Support them and keep them encouraged so we can all live an audaciously authentic life.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. So again, I'm gonna have you hold up the book one more again and then tell folks how they can connect with you.
Well, the book is My Soul is Not for Sale. And you can connect with me on all social media platforms, LinkedIn, it's for Instagram as well as Facebook. You can reach me at Maintain the Flame, or you can just go to the website, www.maintaintheflame.net. I do workshops, I do conferences. I love to speak and to travel. I connect with parents as well as students, and I'm a strong advocate and accountability partner so that we can make sure that you're designing the life that you desire.
Love it. Now, have you been part of any mastermind groups?
I've been working with Miss Skittles, and so she helps out with a lot of mentoring. She's out of Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, nice, nice. I'm not familiar with her, but I know that those are pretty popular, and I some of the folks that I know that have been a part of them have really spoke highly of those types of groups, and you know, having somebody to help them with their intentionality, right?
Yes.
Mhm. All right. So Angela commented, she said, keep shining your light within. Truly enjoyed the conversation with Nicole and Dr. Bradford.
Thank
Wonderful.
you. Thank you.
Yes, 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 yes. And hopefully you all have enjoyed this conversation. Again, we have been talking about maintaining the flame, and this is not only in our workplace. We did talk about some workplace issues that may arise, but also in the relationships, right?
Yes, not only relationships and parenting as well. As an educator, I've been on all levels, and I know how parents are so eager and enthusiastic when it's kindergarten through fifth, but then it kind of dies down as we get to the high school and college areas. And our students need us more as they're older than they do when they're younger because they have so much fighting for their attention. So just checking on your babies and make sure you're holding them accountable and you're providing that tough love.
Absolutely, absolutely. So again, you want to, use these tips, techniques that we've talked about tonight, the mindset, the action, the intentionality, nurturing. Again, how are you nurturing yourself? Being tenacious, being authentic, having integrity, and exercising those non-negotiables. So this has been a great conversation. Again, I hope our viewers have enjoyed it. A few of you all are chiming in. Again, please, let's keep this conversation going because we definitely want to be our best selves. And these tips that have been provided by Dr. B, I think will help us to get there. So I see Dr. Judy. She said, I've enjoyed the conversation. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Miss Keisha, definitely enjoy. Thank you for being our scribe and our comic relief tonight, ma'am. We appreciate you. All right. And Stephanie, thank you. My sister Shayla, thank you, Shay. All right, great show tonight. Thank you, Iris, and thank you all for your great comments too. It was great engagement. My girlfriend Sharice. Good evening, everyone. Have to watch the replay. That's fine. That's fine. We love it. We love it. Amazing broadcast, Nicole. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you so much. So, again, I just am grateful that you have joined me on the platform tonight and that we can have this conversation about maintaining the flame. And I definitely got to get one of these books too. So,
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. I truly enjoyed it. I enjoyed the feedback, and I've had a great time tonight. And I just pray someone was helped in the process. So thank you so much.
my pleasure, my pleasure. And then lastly, for those of you who may be new to my platform, I definitely want to invite you to subscribe to the Conversations with Nicole YouTube channel. We are here Mondays and Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, focused on connecting the community through conversations, mental health and wellness issues, specifically in Black and Brown communities, encouraging us to get our checkup from the neck up and be our best selves. So again, Mondays and Wednesdays, 8:30. So join us on Wednesday. We will actually be talking about foster care and teens aging out of foster care and what some of the options are. All right. All right, good people. Well, we are going to bid you all good night and we will see y'all next time. Bye.